Charlie Warren, a resident of the town of Baldwin in the county of Cumberland and in the state of Maine. I, Deborah Wakefield, town clerk, consistent with the method of notification adopted by the town of Baldwin, certify that at the direction of Constance Warren, I notified the voters of Baldwin of the time and place of the special town meeting by posting a true copy of the within warrant at the town clerk's office, the East Baldwin Post Office, West Baldwin Post Office, and the Baldwin Community Center, a conspicuous public place within Baldwin, on November 20th, 2023, which is at least 7 days next prior to Election Day. You are hereby required to notify one of the inhabitants of the town of Baldwin in said county, qualified by law, to vote in town affairs, to meet at the Baldwin Town Office on Tuesday, November 28th, 2023, at 6 o'clock in the evening, then and there to act on the following articles to wit. Article 1, to choose a moderator for said meeting.
I nominate Norman Blake.
Second.
Okay. Can I get 3 handwritten votes?
You're not gonna suck me into that.
If I get an equal. Norm.
Congratulations.
Undefeated so far.
You, Norman Blake, swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state so long as you shall continue a citizen thereof, so help you God?
Yes, it is.
Do you swear that you will faithfully discharge to the best of your abilities the duties incumbent upon you as the moderator for Baldwin according to the Constitution and laws of the state, so help you God?
Yes, I will.
Alrighty. Here. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Somebody could sit in that chair, that doesn't mean just me. Jacket holder. It's an old one. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to approve an allocation of $77,718 in unspent ARPA funds and allocation of $67,223 from the town equipment reserve account to be used with funding from the town vehicle reserve account to purchase a new 2023 plow truck. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments, discussion? I was about to say, where is Norma when we really need him? Gary, I saw your hand go up first.
Yeah, I'd just like a clarification. A few years back when Brian was on board, and we had a conversation about purchasing a truck, and we talked about, I think, maybe leasing. The concern was with the newer trucks, and all of the stuff that's on them that perhaps potentially can break down, and saying, you know, also purchasing with that or getting with that extended warranty. Did we purchase a truck at that time? We did. And what's the status of that truck now?
The current status of that truck is it has been in stock room at Allegiance International, and it's been in their bay since September 20th, all torn apart. So the rear end housing had a failure. The center alignment pins on the spring for the spring hangers and everything completely are gone. They don't know why. So it all started back in February when we sent it in. You know, something happened with the spring pack. We sent it in. It was done. They redid the pack. They redid the springs, U-bolts, saddles, wedges, the whole 9 yards. It came back. We used it throughout the summer. In the morning one day, he was looking over the truck and goes, that doesn't look right. And the spring pack basically had giant S-turns in it. So I called Allegiance. We took it down there. They looked it all over, found that the alignment pins on the rear end housing was bad. They ordered a new one, but after that, it was notified to them that in their system that it was not available. So they had to call Meritor, which is the manufacturer of the rear end. They took and marked the truck as a critical piece down, and it's been marked that, so Meritor has to basically build the rear end housing, and then ship it to them. Once they ship it to them, it's supposed to go to Chicago, to International's plant, get tested, and then get shipped to Saco to be installed. As of 2 weeks ago, it was supposedly shipped, or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember. It was supposedly shipped. I called the guy just at 4 o'clock today, down in Saco to find out, and he says, I can't see anywhere that it's been confirmed that it's been shipped. They have no records of where it is or where it might be. And so we still don't have that. That truck's been sitting down there, it's still sitting down.
Is that under warranty?
It is all under warranty, which is great, but we don't have the truck.
Yeah.
And as far as he knows, he goes, it could show up tomorrow, it could show up in February. He goes, I can't see where it is, I can't track it, I don't have any record of where it is, I can't see if it's in Chicago yet, I haven't seen it hit Chicago yet. Because usually, he says, once it hits Chicago, I can track it, because then it's in Allegiance's possession, or International's possession, I should say. So, he still can't see it anywhere on his computer. So that's where that truck sits.
So now, is that a lease truck?
That is the lease truck.
And what do
That
you
was-
want, are you gonna lease another one, or are you gonna?
This
purchase it
one
outright?
is to purchase outright. And by purchasing it outright, we're saving the town around $42,000, I think is what the lease interest was on it. Which is a pretty good chunk of change. And
With the warranty?
the warranty is the same. So, and even with the lease that we did when Brian bought the 21, it didn't come with anything extra. It was just the lease, we pay it every year, it's $27,000 and change, I think, every year. And it doesn't cover anything extra on top of what the warranty already is, so it's,
So,
yeah.
just to clarify where we stand on the trucks, I mean, there's that truck, and at town meeting last year, we voted to authorize a similar situation for another truck, and that order went out, and it's,
That was 2 years ago we did it, 2 town meetings ago.
23, yeah. So anyway, that was $40,000 a year for the next truck, which we call the 23 truck. And it's, somewhere, there's a frame built, right?
There's a frame and chassis built.
Yeah.
I've had that confirmed that it has been built, but it hasn't been shipped to Maine at all.
Yeah.
And then once they get it to Maine, depending on when it gets here and when it lines up to hit the body shop, to have the plow, the chassis, or the plow, the dump body, the sander, and all that, you're still looking at a month to 2 months. They're still projecting sometime probably in March to April at the earliest.
About the time the road starts.
About the time the roads thaw out, and we'll be doing ditching.
So anyway, Chris found a truck, that we can buy right away. What we currently have in the program then is it's called the 2021 truck, which he just explained the situation with. We've got several more years to pay for that. We've also got the truck that was authorized 2 meetings ago, and that payment goes out to 2028, and then we've got this truck. But we're doing it all within the existing capital investment program money, so we're not going out and asking to commit any more taxes to raise the mill rate, so to speak. But we are drawing on the town equipment reserve account, which was money set aside to buy things like backhoes and stuff like that. But the good part of it is we're eating up the rest of our ARPA money, which we were having a hard time spending for some reason. We can't get anybody to
What
take
is,
it.
ARPA? What is ARPA?
That's the COVID money that every town got.
Pennies from heaven.
Money to be allocated by 24 and spent by 26.
Yeah, so anyway, this will eat it all up. So I think-
Yvonne, I saw your hand in the air.
Yeah, I wanted to know with these 3 accounts that you're drawing money for, are you buying this truck outright? There's no loans associated with it?
Correct. Buying it outright.
And you have
Okay.
a specific doing it right now, or are you just gonna give them the green
got
light?
one.
Nope, I have it, it's sitting in New Hampshire, the dealership has been extremely working with us, they've held it now for about 4 weeks for us. And they've had several other towns, I guess, call about it, and he's holding them off to see what happens with us, because we called first about it, so.
If I can stick my nose in, if tonight this gets voted in, when will the truck be involved in?
It will, potentially, it could be as soon as the end of the week.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a matter of doing the paperwork for him and getting the paperwork for us to get it here, and then going to go get it.
Michelle?
Is that fully dressed with
Yes.
plow body and plow?
Yep,
Beautiful.
yep, brand new, ready to go. It can plow snow as soon as it gets here. Maybe even on the way.
Have we looked into anything other than buying our own stuff, like leasing out this, like contracting our snow plowing out? We're one of the few towns left with the public works the size we have, and now we're spending $500,000 on 2 trucks. And to contract it out, if you comparison to Porter, Hiram, anyone in the area, the bids they're taking, $60,000 a year to get your roads plowed. Does it make sense we keep spending $500,000 to do our own thing, and now we've got it wouldn't be our problem if we were contracting someone that the truck's sitting in the shop. I get it, you know, I totally get what's going on with that, but does it make sense to keep spending all this money when we could just take the headache out of ourselves? And do, I mean, we're not a Standish, we're not a Gorham, I mean, the guys do a good job, but we have a 3 or 4 man crew, we're not geared to be public works. I'm not sure that's where we're headed. We just committed a couple weeks ago to be a $2 million fire department, so now we wanna be public works too, so, you know, has anybody done any research on this to see what we could get someone to contract? I know there's plenty of people out there, because someone over there has already been underbid. He bid $70,000 this year, and next year someone's already stepped up and bid $58,000 to take his job. I don't know the whole history of it, I know it's been talked about a number of times. I personally don't have a feeling about it one way or the other. I don't know what the economics of it would be, but, you know, I know, I think Jeff was here when we talked about it last time.
We did talk about it quite extensively at one point, but what you said, Butchie, was just what the problem is. Yeah, if the truck goes down, the road doesn't get plowed to a contractor, if he hasn't got trucks enough to go around. Yes, it's his problem, but we was always a little bit scared of that, and we always have plowed our own, and I think equipment in the times that are here, has gone downhill quite a bit, the quality of it. But, my only concern is, with this proposal that you have here is, should we keep dealing with Navistar stuff? I know right now we're up against it, we need the truck to plow the roads this winter. I don't see that we have a choice but to pass this article. However, in the future, I think maybe we should look at another brand.
I can remember when I was on the board with Norman, and we had the conversation about it, and he said that Baldwin had the luxury, because we had been doing and saving up for years, equipment purchasing funds where the other towns had not. So they didn't have any other options, or they didn't have the options that we did.
That was another.
Having said that, like Butch says, we're in a whole different world now, so, I think you need to leave the door open to look at everything.
Further questions, comments?
We've depleted our fund now, right, so we don't have any extra money anymore.
Well, there's still gonna be money in the,
Roughly how
town
much, Bob?
vehicle reserve account. I think there'll be 80,000.
Oh,
But we're gonna be drawing some of that down over the next few years as we pay for these other trucks. But we're also gonna be putting money in there every year, you know, we put money into the reserve account to help us through. But as of the calculation right now, there would be about 80,000 remaining. But next year we would spend 67,000. 67,000, of that. So it's, you know, we try to keep adding some in every year as we go along. And that's what the trucks next year are gonna be costing, $67,000, and then the next year, if we decide to buy out the 21 and then make a payment on the 23, that'll be, $110,000 that we spend, and then from then on out, we don't foresee buying any more trucks for a while. They'll be making payments on the second, or the first 23 truck, that'll be, $40,000 a year. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to know, I haven't really sat down and looked at the economics of contracting it out.
The caveat behind the whole thing is the dysfunctionality of the world in which we are. Not doing anything wrong, we got 2 trucks out here, we bought a truck, we knew we need a truck, it's down. You got another one you ordered and it's in the works, right? I mean, and here we are, you're trying to run a town. So it's not that you're not being proactive or, no foresight, it's just everything's falling apart.
I've discovered in the last day, if you get a flat tire, you're in bad shape now. You can't just go to a guy and say, put one on for me. Right. You ain't got it, and if you got it, you're gonna have to wait a week for it to put it on.
Yeah.
And, this is just a symptom of the way things are.
Matt, you had your hand up.
What are these trucks used for in the town besides plowing? We don't just need trucks for plowing. I mean, they gotta have other uses, don't they?
Oh, yeah, so we, typically in the summertime, we're obviously doing ditch work, hauling gravel, replacing the culverts. It's all part of doing, using that truck. The truck's gonna be used year round.
Right.
I mean, the plowing is what we need to address right now.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, it's not like the truck's just gonna go get parked at the shop.
Right.
I mean, it's gonna be on the road all summer long. It's gonna get used throughout the year and throughout the season, so.
Right. So we have to have trucks. I mean, even if we
contract it
leased out for plowing,
you
still
could
need
probably
trucks.
eliminate a truck, because you wouldn't need quite so many, but you still need trucks on the road to do your regular road work as well.
And that's my next question is, we basically have 3 trucks.
Yeah.
We'll have one now, there's one being built and one being fixed.
Yeah.
How many trucks do we need? Do we need 3 so that one of the 3 can always be being serviced? I mean,
So
we only have 2 drivers, right?
We have a total of 3 guys, plus
Okay.
the seasonal snowplow truck drivers.
Yeah.
Which, George Davis we've used, and Pete Stacy, and, we've got a few others that we can always call to come in and drive for us. Typically, during any large event, we're gonna have 4 guys on the road.
Okay.
Usually it's the 3 big trucks and then one of the 1-tons. And the 1-ton is the one that comes up and does like your road. We go up to do Bowie Road, New Road, Harding, Deacon,
Okay.
Duran, even McNeil, and that's the little truck, even Saddleback.
Right.
And that's the little truck that
So
usually.
you keep 3 trucks busy.
We
pretty
try to at
much
least always have
year-round.
3 trucks on the road no matter what the storm is, and then
Yeah.
occasionally a 4.
Okay.
And it's always nice to have that spare truck. I'm not gonna lie, we've last year at one point, we were down to 1 truck again, standard chain brakes or something lets go, a tire break, blows, it's all maintenance things that happen during the storm, and, you gotta keep moving, so. Yeah.
So I'd like to just make a comment. I want to keep it on track for, getting this article passed, because obviously we're kind of between a rock and a hard place for plowing, but, I'm obviously a taxpayer too. I just want to straighten out some information. So when we look at Baldwin as a town and kind of make a comparison for contracting out for snow plowing and road work and compare it to a town like Porter or Hiram, those towns aren't in Cumberland County. We are in a unique position in Baldwin for a lot of different departments in town, even though we don't have all that many of them being in Cumberland County. And although we don't have the population and median income that Gorham does, we are behind, like Mr. Sanborn was saying, in the way that we purchased our equipment and the way that we have to take care of our roads and our maintenance. Now, Hiram and Porter have significantly more private roads than we do here in the town of Baldwin, which means the town of Baldwin has to take care of those private roads. We are responsible for them. So private roads, we don't have to take care of. That's the people who own and pay for maintenance on those roads problem. So to contract it out won't necessarily be just as fiscally prudent, you know, as it would be to have a public works department maintaining, you know, the roads during the summer and the winter. Especially when it comes to an emergency like we've had this past year with the amount of flooding and rainfall and the damage to all of the roads, including the road that goes up to my house. Cumberland County provides emergency assistance that we honestly don't often meet the threshold to get the funding for. So it's called Cumberland County EMA, Emergency Management Association. I am pretty much the interim representative for the town and contact point for that. Fire department usually handles things like that. But Chris does a ton of work on trying to get funding from Cumberland County to take some of the financial pressure off our taxes and the select board in order to get these roads repaired. But at the end of the day, contracting out, we're gonna end up paying pretty much roughly, you know, the same thing. Be a smart idea to get this article passed and at least just get a truck on the road so we have snow off of our road. So if your house goes on fire, then we could show up.
Anything else on this article? Questions, comments? What do you, Michelle?
I was just talking to Chris, when I worked for the town of Sebago, we had a contractor do some of the work in town besides our public works, and they were paying them $115,000 a year. To do a small portion of the town.
Pretty good discussion, Matt.
Is there any opportunity to have a more aggressive service or maintenance plan? I mean, you know, for a 20 or 21 or 21 or 22, this truck that is all apart in that bay, isn't that old?
No,
And for all those things to be wrong with it, that somebody actually has to manufacture a rear end for it, it is,
Nobody stocks anything, especially big stuff anymore.
it's crazy.
Yeah, so part of the thing, and, you know, nobody stocks it. And I think part of it is that, you know, they don't know what's causing it to do it. From what they've looked at so far and what they can tell, the dealership is saying bad manufacturing. Like it was a faulty manufacturing right from the get-go. Chances are, possibly. I mean, it's not that old. It's got 30,000 miles on the truck.
Oh my God.
And it is under warranty, which is great, and they're covering it. It's just a wait to get it.
How often do trucks of that size, I mean, is it like our pickup trucks? You're taking it in every 5,000 miles to have the oil changed and to have it, you know, checked out to see if there's anything wrong, or does it work differently with these behemoths?
What can you tell us about maintenance?
I think I don't mean to keep inserting, but I helped Chris and Stevie down at the garage quite a bit, because I was diesel mechanic for quite a while, and I don't charge you guys anything. I do it because I got in contact there. These trucks sit in salt and sands, and we know what salt and water does to metal. It destroys it. That's why we undercoat our cars in the winter. It's why we wash them all the time in the winter. These trucks see more and rougher, like, duty and jobs than some of the dump trucks over at Estes did, because they're moving a lot of gravel and not always sanding and salting. So, you know, these are the same trucks just that you're using for summer maintenance to haul gravel and fix the roads during ditching and handle all the ditching. And then that same truck is going out all winter long and plowing and salting and sanding. And so that 30,000 miles is a hard 30,000 miles. Not to mention, just again, like as Sanborn said before, we're buying internationals. You know, if we were to be buying Max and spending some money on trucks that were a little bit better outfitted to handle this amount of duty, wouldn't be repairing them as much. Cheap is expensive in the long run.
And the town of Baldwin has roads like none other. If you, Laurie can attest to that, she lives on one. You know, if anybody doesn't think that, just go jump the plow truck for a while and go for a ride. Right, George?
Yep.
My dad plowed for 10 years for down here, and I went with him a lot, and it's like the places they are asking us, to plow is unreal. So you've got that, plus the manufacturers are not manufacturing what they usually do, used to do. And, so, I think we're up against it no matter what we do, we gotta pass this article.
I understand that many years ago, a fellow could work off his taxes by shoveling the town roads, and I guess they had whole crews of fellows. Might ought to look into it. Further discussion on Article 2. Hearing none, and this is a big one, so I'll do it the right way and read the article. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to approve allocation of $77,718 in unspent ARPA funds and the allocation of $67,223 from the town equipment reserve account to be used with funding from the town vehicle reserve account to purchase a new 2023 plow truck. All those in favor, please raise their hand. Those opposed? The article appears to pass unanimously. Let's move on to, and I thought that was one of the best discussions I've heard at a town meeting on a subject in a while. I also moderate some of the neighboring towns, and it looks like we're smarter. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to approve the select board signing a letter to state officials expressing Baldwin's support for naming the bridge between Baldwin and Cornish Veterans Memorial Bridge. We have a motion. And is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Questions?
I have a question.
What?
I have a question.
Well, this is the appropriate time, Mrs. Kingsley.
Isn't that good that I raised my hand? Oh, you want to know what the question is?
It's not just me, we all do.
Who brought this to the, who brought this to the select board to write that?
We have the lady right behind you, and she,
Calista Cross,
and
Calista Cross?
yeah,
let me
From
explain.
Cornish?
yeah.
What let me explain is that she circulated petitions and got the appropriate number of signatures on the petitions to bring it to the select board, and it's then our duty to, bring it before a vote.
Okay. And the other question, the other thing that I want to
Wait,
make.
that was two, this is two questions.
Huh? That was two questions?
Go ahead.
Can I go ahead? Okay, it is my knowledge that this person brought this question to Cornish, and Cornish said, turned it down, they didn't want to have anything to do with it. And there is this bridge here, which I live right next to. There is another bridge that's, bridge number 3328, which is the Leamington, Steep Falls Bridge. That was already named the Veterans Memorial Bridge in 2015. So why would we put another Veterans Memorial Bridge right next to another Veterans Memorial Bridge that's crossing the same river?
It's one of the favorite names for bridges.
Hmm?
It's one of the favorite names for bridges, not just in here, but in the whole state of Maine and
Yeah.
probably around the U.S. I saw Bangor, Portland,
Yep,
Belfast,
Bangor,
Southwold,
Portland,
Dresden,
yep,
Auburn, Lewiston,
yep.
Skowhegan, North Berwick, and there's even a pathway, a Veterans Memorial Bridge pathway in Portland for a walking path. I mean, it's just
Why
the
do
thing to do.
why do we feel as though we need to brand the bridge, the Veterans Memorial? Why can't we leave it just the way it is? It's the bridge between Cornish and Baldwin. Why does it have to have a name?
It doesn't.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
But that's what this meeting is to determine.
That's why we're here. I saw your hand up.
Yes, to honor the veterans.
Well, yes, well, veterans are honored many, many ways, and I really appreciate the effort that everybody wants to put into it. But the thing that is, Calista is not a person involved with.
We may be able to ameliorate that deficit.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. I mean, you don't have to be a a resident of Baldwin to, circulate a petition.
She got,
No.
what, 25 or more signatures?
Yes, I got the.
Yeah.
Okay, of Baldwin registered voters, okay.
Yeah, but, it was turned down, they were turned down in Cornish, and that's why they came to Baldwin.
Okay, Callista wishes to speak. However,
Yeah.
wait, hold on, Callista.
Okay.
There's serious state, statutes here. 30 AMRSA 2524 requires that anyone who addresses a town meeting or a special town meeting must be a registered voter in that town, not even just a resident. However, there is a workaround. If 2/3 of the House here, so votes, we can afford you the high and holy privilege of addressing this august assembly. Now, I need a motion and a second to allow Callista to speak, and then we'll look for a 2/3 vote if it can happen. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. This type of motion is not debatable. All those in favor of giving Callista the privilege and honor of speaking to this meeting, please raise your hands. Those opposed? Callista, you were not approved unanimously, but you got your 2/3. Please let us know what you think about this.
Thank you. I just would like to clear up about Cornish.
Please speak right up.
Okay, I just would like to clear up about Cornish voting the bridge down, because they didn't really vote the bridge down. And what happened was, the people in Cornish knew, when we were supposed to go to vote on the bridge, but the town changed the date, and so the people didn't know it. And I had 97 people that signed a petition in Cornish that wanted the bridge. So I just kinda wanted to clear that up, okay? Thank you.
The question was asked, why that bridge, and I think it's a fair question. Would you like to address that?
Yes, I do. I think because of our veterans. This is for all of our veterans. And it doesn't matter if we've got one here and there and all over the place. It's like our monuments. We've got monuments in different towns. But you don't take away just because a few people might not want to name the bridge. And the bridge has had several names. It's never had a sign up showing any of the names. And this one will have a sign, and this is what it looks like. And I'll pass this around so everybody can see what the sign will look like. DOT will put it up, and it won't cost the town a cent. And we should do everything we can for our veterans. And there shouldn't be anybody turning it down. I mean, everybody's opinion counts, but I feel our veterans have done so much for us. What the heck makes a difference about putting a sign up for our veterans, for crying out loud, people?
Okay, I saw Sandy's hand, and then we'll talk to Kathy, and then we'll talk to the gentleman from McNeil Road. Sandy?
So which side of the river would the sign be placed on? Baldwin or Cornish? Since I guess the boundary line is right down the center of the river?
Boundary is down the center. Callista, can you answer that question? They put one at each end, or what?
It will be at the Baldwin end.
Okay. Okay, does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay, I'll get to you. Kathy?
It's nice to recognize the veterans, but I think that making it so that they receive something more than just a sign would be better. I think that the life flights that honor them, that give them an experience, allow them to express their feelings and talk with others, is a much more meaningful event. I would like to see the money spent there rather than a sign.
Gary?
Yeah, my question, I think it was sort of answered, is it would be put on the Baldwin side, because if Cornish is the instrument sign, somebody from Cornish is gonna tear that sign down.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, it's on state property.
But you know, it's like,
No.
if you go over to Cornish, and Fairgrounds, you look in there honoring the veterans, they have a display out front. You go to Bay Havens, because they don't. So I think everybody's entitled to honor them in the way they want them, or if they don't want them. But, yeah, so the sign would be on the Baldwin sign.
Laura, you had your hand up.
That was pretty much my question. If Cornish has turned it down, what does that mean? We say yes, but I guess it's just on the ball side.
Mark, don't agree with this.
What other names were on that bridge? You said there were several other names for it?
Melissa, can you tell us what some of the historical names were?
Yes, it used to be,
Please speak right up loud.
okay.
Half of us are deaf and opposed.
Well, it's the old history, and of all the 97 people that I got signed the petition, and 31 over in Cornish, and 31 here in Baldwin, nobody knew what the name of the bridge was. So people, the name of the bridge is Station Bridge, in case you don't know it. And, it used to be called the Cornish Station Bridge, the Baldwin Bridge, the Hemlock Bridge, and the Covered Bridge.
That was not the Hemlock Bridge.
The Hemlock Bridge was upstream, wasn't it, Josiah?
Downstream.
Downstream, yeah.
And the Covered Bridge went downstream, and I understand that someplace down the Steep Falls where the dam is located. And the same way with the Hemlock Bridge. It floated downstream. So then when DOT came in 1936, they built the cement bridge that's there now. And so because of Baldwin and Cornish sharing, they, ended up, building a bridge in 1996, and they gave it the name the Station Bridge. So, and I would like to add something to this, that I'm a member of Honest Light Maine, and I don't know if you people have heard of it, but I talk to these, soldiers, veterans that come in and go on that flight, and I'll tell you, the stories that you would hear from them, and to do something so small like this, putting up a sign, and they know that we're doing this, and we want to try to get it passed, and they want to see this happen. And I have also talked to people in Cornish who voted to get this bridge in, and they didn't mind if Baldwin pulls it through. As long as it gets pulled through, that's all they care about. It doesn't matter, it's our veterans.
Carol?
Okay. Baldwin has a Medal of Honor recipient who is buried in Baldwin. Now, he came from Warren, but he got the Medal of Honor. His name is Edward Whittier. He's buried in the Pierce Cemetery.
Do you recognize that name, Josiah?
Edward N. Whittier, is that?
Who is he? Was he originally a Baldwin boy?
He was a grandson of, the gentleman who built my house.
Ah. Interesting.
So he's a Civil War vet? Yes.
Yes, so, yeah, he died in 84.
64.
Yeah, 64, 18.
In Virginia.
Yeah.
No, he didn't die during the war.
Oh, yeah?
No. He lived on, I think he was a lawyer in Gorham. He was in the same building that Amato's is in, and his sign didn't get taken down until maybe 20 years ago.
Cool.
It was still alive. Yeah.
Cool. Well, to get back to Article 3, further questions, Matt?
You know, naming bridges can get sticky. I mean, take a look at the Tappan Zee Bridge. I mean, Tappan Zee is a great name, an Indian name. They changed it to the Como Bridge, and now they're talking about taking that away and renaming it the Tappan Zee again and stuff. And you know, I think the Veterans Memorial Bridge is a lot less potentially divisive than naming it after a person. But we should still proceed with deliberation. I would like to see this be a unified joint effort between Cornish and Baldwin. I think that by getting the leadership of both towns unified in support of naming a bridge to honor our veterans will head off resentment and factionalization, down the road. So, part of it's on their side, part of it's on our side. I'm not kind of in favor of naming half a bridge.
Right.
Further questions, comments? Yes.
So just to point out, it's not that small of a deal outside of just naming it. The state DOT, which does maintain that bridge, calls this the Depot Bridge, so that's another name that we didn't get yet, but that's actually what it's called when you look at it via the state. It does potentially affect the 911 address of that bridge if there were to be an incident there. So I guess my question would be, who would then be working with dispatch to, our Cumberland County dispatch, since it's a bridge that does separate counties as well, to kind of identify and re-identify the 911 address, if there were to be an incident, like a car accident that would happen on one side of the bridge.
Does Cornish have a different, dispatch than Cumberland County?
They absolutely do.
So there you go, you gotta call two people.
Yep.
We're telling them.
Well, you have to call two people no matter what, but what I'm asking is who is going to do it?
Yeah, good point.
Because it's typically my job.
Gary?
I would echo his sentiments, and that for many, many years, it was called the Brown Mountain Road. As a little kid, grew up Brown Mountain Road. Having a conversation with Alan Dolph, there's a mountain road up off in Saddleback. Concern over 911, quick call, somebody says Mountain Road, which one do they mean? So Brown Road became Brown Road, not Brown Mountain Road.
I was on the 911 addressing committee for Baldwin. I still don't understand how Standish can have all those watch-it roads with a number.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get back to Article 3, the bridge. Yvonne?
In light of this information here, I live at the bottom of the hill, right next to the bridge. We get a ton of accidents, at least one a year, sometimes 3 in the summer. When somebody calls in, they say, oh, the sign says Veterans Memorial Bridge. There's also, on the Saco River, a Veterans Memorial Bridge. That is so easily messed up. So how would you like to have an accident from somebody from away, which usually they are, look at the sign, say, oh, it says Saco River Veterans Memorial Bridge, and dispatch sends them down to Steep Falls? That's where I see confusion, messing everything up. Because they don't necessarily know that they're in Baldwin. I'm not necessarily there calling 911 to save somebody's life. So.
A lot of my friends don't even know where Baldwin is. Yes, you had something further? No?
That was me. I just, yeah, it's correct, but I think Matt had a great point earlier that maybe just as the town, we should consider it to be a joint venture between towns, especially if it's going to affect the 911
Well, to avoid confusion, it could be renamed the Baldwin Cornish Veterans Memorial Bridge, or the Cornish Baldwin Veterans Memorial Bridge, so you give it a unique identifier versus all the other Veterans Memorial Bridges to eliminate potential 911 issues and stuff like that.
Ernie, you got your hand in the air.
I make a motion to move the question.
Fred wants to move the question. That means we take it to, Fred has already begun to move the question. Is there a second? Second. Okay, moved and seconded to move the question. We're not voting on Article 3 right now. What we're voting on is ending debate and going to the real vote. All those in favor of ending debate, moving the question, please raise your hand. Those opposed? Okay, we will, we have voted to move the question. We will go to vote on the article. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to approve the select board signing a letter to state officials expressing Baldwin's support for naming the bridge between Baldwin and Cornish, the Veterans Memorial Bridge. All those in favor? Callista, you may not vote in the town of Baldwin. If you move here, we can. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 in favor. I gotta write this down because I can't remember numbers. All those opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 by my count. 15 opposed. Article 3 fails, and perhaps in the future there could be some more discussion on it. We're done with it for tonight. Article 3.5. I got 2 Article 3s, Debbie. I'm gonna call one of them Article 4.
I didn't do it.
Who did that?
I'm guilty.
Bob. You're guilty, Bob! It's on the warrant. Article 4, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved and seconded. This motion is not debatable either. All those in favor of adjourning this meeting? Those opposed? The vote is unanimous. I believe a meeting of the August meeting of the selectmen shall follow.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.
Again, good discussion. I like it.